From the Shard, formerly known as Esper, on the plane of Alara, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome, everybody.
Hi.
Graham here.
Cameron here.
And Alex over here.
How you doing there?
Cold. It's chilly in here.
It is.
I forgot
it
to
is
bring
chilly
my like sweater because I normally you wear layers, right? I
Yeah.
have one layer and it's thick.
Thick. I forgot to my sweaters as well. Most of them are in boxes right now. This is Tap Tap Concede, and this is one of the Commander 2016 products.
Oh.
Specifically,
Brea, Ethereum Sculptor.
Invent Superiority is the name of the deck.
Oh.
Brea, Ethereum Sculptor, learned to command powerful works of artifice on the Esper Shard of Alara. Her mastery of lightning and expertise with Ethereum enable her to unlock the full potential of her creations and overwhelm her foes. And this,
So it is Esper Red.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is so the Commander 2016 decks. They all have 4 colors, which is pretty cool. Previously known as the Nephilim colors.
Yeah.
I guess still.
That was the only
Yeah, the
designation
only-
they ever had.
Yeah.
was
So
a
this is
cycle of 5 cards
your
for Ravnica.
tiller.
Yeah.
Who's Tiller?
Who's Tiller?
Run's house.
Gotcha. And we're gonna open this up, and we're just gonna look at the deck.
What's
Yeah,
in
this
it?
is it's another crack-a-pack.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I think I just triggered the. I turned
Oh.
the box
Yeah, you
forward.
got- you got
and
it
there's cards
detected
on the
it.
back, and it
Yeah.
detected one of the.
Yeah, it detected a Kiri.
Look at that.
Oh,
Look at that.
oh, look, Silas Wren. Look at
Oh.
that guy.
Such a
Anyway.
such a punch in the face.
Yeah,
let's
God.
open these up. The Commander products, if you're interested, have also we bought these in case that's relevant information for you. Has a 100-card Commander deck featuring 4 foil commanders, an oversized card for Brea, 10 double-sided tokens, a deck storage box, and a strategy insert. If you want to know how to strategy.
How to insert. Later.
Goodbye.
You want to get that out of there?
Later.
Strategy insert, don't need that. So let's talk about Brea right off the bat. Brea, Ethereum Sculptor.
Gee, almost ain't even there.
Casts for, it's a 4/4, he's a 4/4 for 4.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's no additional mana there, I like that. It's just white, blue, black, red. So that's, it's not what you'd call
Easy.
an easy mana base to hit. I'm actually going to be very curious. In fact, I wonder if this is actually, I know that these are unshuffled. I wonder if this is actually arranged where we can actually just jump right to the mana base. I think that'd be a good place to start.
Yeah, actually.
Just to be like,
you
how
also gonna
are
need
we
some
casting
fixing?
all of this?
Yeah.
All right, there's all the cards. Okay, let's put all those to the side. We'll talk about what's actually in the deck for a sec. How are we casting what's in the deck? All right, Forbidden Orchard, or sorry, Exotic Orchard is land.
Oh yes.
Tap to add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls would produce.
Easy. You only brick on one color.
Yeah.
I guess if you're in, yeah, it's true. If you're in,
A 4-player match.
if you're in a match with these,
You're fine.
the decks, that's
This
probably
is probably
okay.
just going to be a free rainbow land in multiplayer. Or at least it will become a free rainbow land in multiplayer.
Yeah.
Planes?
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basic planes.
They're not the chippy Esper planes.
No, they're not. Are we using, by the way, are we using the top-down camera at all? Paul?
For right now?
Yeah.
Not at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I guess we could.
Yeah, let's do that, because we're sort of laying some stuff out here.
Oh, wait, actually, can I see those?
Yeah, we've got Mark Poole, Kev Walker, Rebecca Gay.
Oh, yeah, Rebecca Gay art.
Yeah, I don't know which edition this is from.
It might be a new one.
They're brand new for the
Oh,
set.
really?
I remember that. They commissioned new basics for the set. Brand new Rebecca Gay basics.
That's awesome. Actually, and then if I could also we could get a preview up on there so that we know what we're seeing.
Yes.
We've got again 5 basic islands from the same artists.
Yep.
I wonder if these are weighted in any way.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
4 swamps to
Okay,
answer
yeah.
your question,
And
and 4
4
mountains.
okay, so they're slightly weighted towards
Azorius,
those 2
but
colors.
only slightly. And then all the other lands are fixing.
Okay.
So it looks like the mana is separated into some different sort of groups. So first of all, let's take a look at ones that produce colorless. There's an Ash Barrens that just straight up taps for colorless, but it has basic land cycling. So you can pay 1 and discard it from your hand to go searching for any of the basics,
Right.
which seems helpful.
Handy.
Check this out. Temple of the False God
Classic.
with new art. With Kiora on it, actually.
Oh, no
That is
kidding.
Kiora.
That's so
Oh, wow.
that's so cool. The
Sprite.
False God.
I see what you did.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because she.
I get it.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that initially.
Hey, she's a phony.
So this taps for 2 colorless, but you can only do that if you control 5 or more lands. Still pretty cool, though. There's a Darksteel Citadel, which taps for 1 colorless and is indestructible.
Yep.
Why not?
Combos with
Well-
Invineral's disc.
Yeah, kind of.
There's a Buried Ruin, which taps for 1 colorless, and you can pay 2 and sacrifice it to return an artifact from your graveyard to your hand. That seems pretty good for this deck, considering...
I imagine there will be some number of artifacts in this deck.
Yeah. And then we have a Terramorphic Expanse and an Evolving Wilds,
I see what you did
Yep.
which both do the same thing, which is you get to go looking through your
functional
deck
reprints.
for any one of those cards again. And then everything else, it looks like, taps for some sort of mana. We've got a Boros Garrison, an Azorius Chancery, a Dimir Aqueduct, and a Rakdos Carnarium. So four of the Karoo lands from Ravnica. These are, if you haven't used these before, they're a little weird. They tap for 2 mana. So Rakdos Carnarium, that's up on the screen right now, taps for a red and a black. But when you play it, it enters tapped, and you have to return
Another land.
land to, well,
Or you can return the same
You can
land.
return it itself,
That's how
but that's
Amulet
terrible.
Bloom works.
Yeah.
To its owner's hand. So that's interesting. Command Tower, of course, because it's commander. So just tap for any 1 mana of your commander's color
A
identity.
free rainbow land with no drawback.
Yep. The Rupture Spire, and you mentioned functional reprint, Transguild Promenade. These are the same card. They enter tapped. When they enter the battlefield, you sacrifice it unless you pay 1 generic mana, and then after that, they tap for anything.
I remember Transguild Promenade from Return to Ravnica Limited, where the classic play was turn 1 Gate,
Yeah.
turn 2 Transguild Promenade, turn 3, you may begin playing the game now.
Yeah. A random, to me anyway, Seat of the Synod. So we've got
Synod
the
or Synod?
Synod?
Synod? Well, we've got
I don't know.
Darksteel Citadel and the Seat of the Synod, both of them artifact lands. And so I assume there's going to be some relevance to that.
Sacrifice 2 artifacts, choose
Yeah.
1.
Oh, I see. There we are. And then we have a bunch of tri-lands. We have the Arcane Sanctum, which taps for Esper. Crumbling Necropolis, which taps for, I want to say,
Grixis.
Grixis.
Yep.
Mystic Monastery, which taps for Jeskai. And Nomad Outpost, which taps for
So we got
Mardu.
2 from Alara and 2 from
Right.
Khan. So,
So-
like 2 wedges, 2 shards.
Nothing, the balance of color that we saw earlier with the basics hasn't really been altered. It's been shifted ever so slightly towards blue with the Seat of the Synod, but otherwise it's all pretty even color-wise.
Yeah, because across these tri-lands, you have three
You have all
each.
of them, yeah.
Yeah, you got 3 of each.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess if you
Got some fixins.
if you look at your opening hand and you've got like 2 islands, I would take a mulligan.
Yeah, shit that.
If you've just got like a couple of the same basic in your opening hand, you could be doing much better in your early turns with setting up your mana base. Because again, the commander is just four straight up colors. So let's read about Brea, shall we?
Yeah.
Hi, Brea.
Brea Ethereum Sculptor. Now, there's a couple. You don't have to choose Brea. There's actually 4 possible commanders that you could choose. But let's take a look at Brea first because she's got the big card. So, the full your tiller, white, blue, black, red for a 4/4 legendary human. When Brea Ethereum Sculptor enters the battlefield, you get 2 1/1 blue flying Thopters, which I don't know if the token doesn't come up, but we've got these 2 Thopters. They're blue artifacts, so that's relevant for them being blue creatures and artifacts.
A lot of Thopters.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're different from the Thopters that you've been seeing in Kaladesh.
Yeah, these are the original Alara Thopters.
And then she has this activated ability: pay 2 and sacrifice 2 artifacts. And like Alex was saying, they could be the Seat of the Synod or the Darksteel Citadel, because it's indestructible. That doesn't mean you can't sacrifice it, and or Thopters or whatever. And then you get to do one of the following things: deal 3 damage to target player, and it's Brea deals the damage, meaning that's commander damage.
Yeah.
Right.
Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn, which is pretty sweet.
Bye.
Or you gain 5 life.
The middle one probably seems the top 2 abilities seem like the best to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other commander options, if you want to go a different route, is Silas Wren.
I want to drill this guy. I want to.
But wait, there's more. He's got partner.
Yeah.
So you now
remember, commander
many
damage is
configurations.
combat damage.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because
We came in-
otherwise,
they had that problem before.
otherwise, what's his ass? The red god from Theros would be way busted.
Womp womp.
Perforos.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Still,
So,
dome.
Silas Wren, 2/2 for 1 blue-black with Death Touch. Cool. Whenever Silas Wren whenever Silas Wren deals combat damage to a player, choose target artifact in your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn.
It's a little bit like a regrowth.
And and Silas has partner, which is you can have 2 commanders if they both have partner. And all 3 of the other options have partner. Because, this is important, you can't just say, okay, Silas Wren is my commander of this deck. Because
Yeah.
his color identity is blue-black, and there's red and white stuff in here.
Yeah.
So you'd have to completely he can be the commander of his own deck, just not this deck. But he can be a partner with Akiri Lineslinger. An 0/3
Okay.
for red-white with first strike and vigilance. A 0/3 with first strike.
Okay.
Go on.
But Akiri gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control.
Oh right.
Oh.
yeah, that sounds good.
Don't forget, those lands count.
Hey, aren't equipment artifacts?
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah.
And Akiri has
Strap on Bone Splitter and get in there.
partner. And the other one is Bruce Tarl Boorish Herder.
That's quite a mouthful.
Is a 3/3 for 2 red-white. And whenever Bruise Tarl enters the battlefield or attacks, target creature you control gains double strike and lifelink until end of turn.
Well, that's quite the combo with Silas Wren.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So what would because you got to partner Silas with one of these guys, what would your choice be?
Definitely Boorish Herder. Because if you get them both out,
Yeah,
Silas
yeah.
can cast
Double
two.
strike.
That's just
Death
like
touch?
too much of a wombo.
Yeah.
I do like this, though, because Silas is an artifact
Yeah, oh,
human
yeah.
himself, and so Silas gives Akiri +1. But so let's assume that we just are going with Brea here. Let's see what's in the rest of this deck now.
Silas Wren is totally a Star Wars name, isn't
Very
it?
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very, yeah.
By the way, we've got 4 1/1 bird tokens,
Burb.
Burbs.
Burb
and
tokens?
6 1/1 blue thopter tokens.
But wait.
which are also
Mirror.
the bird are actually mirror, and the thopters are
A whole bunch of stuff.
2 goats, 2 germs, a horror, and a Doretti emblem.
Oh,
Huh.
Spoilers, I guess.
yeah.
The horror is a star, so I don't recall what makes that. Wait,
I guess we'll find
I
out.
think I just remembered.
Something bad.
All right, let's see what we got going on here.
Something bad.
Okay, Mirror Retriever.
Mirror
Love
Retriever.
it. Love it.
What's Mirror Retriever do?
2 colorless, you get a 1/1 mirror. When Mirror Retriever dies, return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand.
So another sort of regrowth.
Yeah, that triggers when when Brea flings it at something.
Yeah. These are all totally in no particular order.
Okay.
So
we'll just get to
we're
them.
just going to go through them, I guess. Vidalcan Engineer. 1/1 for 1 and a blue.
Ooh, just good.
Tap to add 2 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend it only to cast artifact spells or activate artifact abilities.
Seems good.
Yes, like Brea's.
Yeah.
Ethereum Sculptor. Artifacts cost 1 colorless less.
Yeah.
guy's
Seems like
pretty good.
seems like a very clear include.
Yeah. Baleful Strix.
Ah,
Everybody
hey, boy.
loves Baleful
Classic.
Yeah.
Strix. 1/1 Flying Death Touch for 2 mana. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Just
They
solid.
can't stop reprinting this card. It's
Yeah.
too good.
It's very good.
Pitches to Force of Will.
Hey, Alex. Trinket Mage. 2/2 for 3. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost 1 or less.
Soul Ring.
Reveal
Yeah.
that card, put it into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. Actually, let's take a moment and see
I
what
can tell
targets.
you right now what exists.
I've got 3 right here,
Yep.
4, 5. I've got 5 right here.
Okay, so
let's have a look.
Everflowing Chalice,
Everflowing Chalice.
Skull Clamp,
Skull Clamp.
Soul Ring,
Soul Ring.
Yup.
Dispeller's Capsule,
Yup.
Executioner's Capsule.
Yup.
What about over in the creatures?
Seat of the Synod.
Seat of the Synod
And Darksteel
And
Citadel.
Darksteel Citadel.
and Darksteel
I
Citadel.
think
That's
those
a
are
play
your
that,
only
that,
targets.
that happens sometimes in Academy in Highlander.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are the
Where
only
people will
targets.
just use Trinket Mage to find a land.
So
is fair.
Executioner's Capsule is like Doomblade that just sort of sits there.
Yep.
You cast it as an artifact, and then at any time you can pay 1 and a black to destroy target non-black creature. Dispeller's Capsule is the same thing for Disenchant. You pay 2 and a white and sacrifice it to destroy an artifact or enchantment. Sol Ring, of course. I think every deck has the Sol
Oh,
Ring.
busted.
Yeah.
I think they keep doing that.
Yeah, I think if you ever start seeing these without Sol Ring, ship your Sol Ring because it's going to get banned in Commander.
So
I
it's
doubt that will ever happen,
Yeah.
but
single mana, tap for 2 colorless. Skull Clamp, I think, is going to be... Skull Clamp proves to be pretty strong in this deck already, considering
well, the
all the
Thopters.
one
and-
ones we've already seen,
Yeah.
all the Thopters. Skull Clamp is a very, very powerful card. It's
well, I mean,
so
it was emergency banned in the middle of a standard season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It was either Clamp or GT.
it was another one of those cards where, well, GTA was the other one that I'm thinking of when I say this. It's one of those cards that there was something that was printed originally that they were like, this doesn't really work, but we're super, super late in the process, so let's just tweak a couple dials and ship it, not realizing how powerful they'd made it.
Yeah,
So it's-
if Skull Clamp didn't read -1
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the second,
It's 1 mana to play, 1 mana to equip, and
Which
gives
is
a creature
pretty
plus
stupid.
1, minus
Minus
1.
one.
Well, that's dumb, because if I put it on a 1/1, it'll just die.
yeah, but guess what happens
Whenever
when it
the equipped
dies?
creature dies, you draw 2 cards.
Two!
yeah.
2 cards.
So
cards.
1 mana to draw 2 cards.
Oh, man.
Yep.
How do you feel about Ancestral recalling several times in a turn?
Yeah. And then the Everflowing Chalice, of course, the cup.
Yeah, Crunk Cup.
Pull it up.
Just, so it costs 0 by itself, but for every 2 mana you pay when you cast it, you can put a counter on it, and then it taps for that many mana. So you can get pretty powerful there.
It's like a build your own size ramp.
Speaking of artifacts and cards that are busted,
Yeah, that seems fair
have
right there.
Cranial Plating, which is another
wow.
busted piece of equipment. 2 mana to play, 1 mana to equip.
1.
And the equipped creature gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control.
But wait, there's more.
You can also move it at instant speed for black.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Instantly move it from one creature to another.
This was the
Like after first strike damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of artifacts,
EDH All-Star.
Swiftfoot Boots, which is in place of
Lightning Greaves?
Lightning Greaves.
Yeah.
So it gives the creature hexproof and haste for 2 mana, 1 to equip. Let's go through the other artifacts, actually. Commander's Sphere. I haven't seen this one. I
Ball.
think it's newish.
I love ball.
3 mana artifact. Tap to add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color in your commander's color range. So it's like a command tower on a stick. Also, sacrifice it to draw a card.
Okay.
Just later in the game, you can be like, get out
Also,
of here.
that ability is free.
Lockdown Warhammer,
No.
which I have one in my decks and
No.
people hate. It gives the creature +3/+0 and trample and lifelink. It's very, very strong. Etched Oracle is a 4 mana creature with Sunburst, which is that it gets a +1/+1 counter for every color you spend to cast it. So it costs
This is 0/0.
4 of anything. But if you cast it for, in this case, white, blue, black, red,
It's a 4/4.
It's a 4/4, and you can pay 1 to remove 4 counters and draw 3 cards. Now it'll die unless you somehow
So
get another
you
counter.
want to be casting this for 4 colors.
Speaking of mana rocks, we have a Fellwar Stone. Tap to add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color that a opponent could produce. So it's the same as the orchard, the exotic orchard.
Yeah, but it's a rock.
But it's a rock. Mana rocks are always good. Speaking of mana rocks,
Mana planks.
can't look as the Ichor Wellspring.
I love this card so much.
This
Hi,
card,
buddy. You're
when
back.
it enters the battlefield or goes to the graveyard, you draw a card. It does nothing by itself. It's
Yeah.
just a little plank.
I love it.
I mean, it counts
love
towards
it.
Metalcraft.
It counts towards Metalcraft, it counts towards artifacts. It's an
And then
artifact
Brea
you can
picks it up and
sacrifice.
chucks it at your face.
Yeah.
Thump.
Sanctum Gargoyle
Yeah.
lets you go looking for artifacts.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is the one that returns
yes, from the
artifacts from your
graveyard.
graveyard to your hand.
Love it.
Grave digger.
Mycosynth Wellspring, 2 mana artifact. When it enters the battlefield or is put into a graveyard, you can search your library for a basic land.
Yep.
So this is similar, but it's like a Wanderer's Twig.
And let's just go through the rest of the
Colorless?
colorless artifacts. Oh man, there's some
seeing
really
some
good stuff
dangers.
here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh boy. Wowie, wowie. All right, here we go. Bone Horde.
This
Yep.
one
love
in
Bone Horde.
multiplayer, I understand, is quite good.
So it's a 4-mana artifact with living weapon, meaning it's a 4-mana artifact. You get a germ token that it's already equipped to. So you get this creature. Later, it equips for 2 if you want. The equipped creature gets +X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. The one thing you have to keep in mind in Commander games is that when someone dies, their graveyard goes away.
Yes.
So if a player leaves the game, you have to reevaluate how big your Bone Horde is.
It's still going to be real big.
Or reevaluate how big your opponent's Bone Horde is. Keep an eye on that.
Horde is ready.
What if
Disc.
you want to make everything go in forever?
Disc.
Good old Nevin Earl's disc. So 4-mana artifact enters tapped. Pay 1 and tap to destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments.
It doesn't say Planeswalker on there.
It doesn't.
No.
But when you absolutely need to get rid of the whole board, we keep talking about this. There's only 2 artifact lands in this whole deck, and there's 100 cards. Chances are you won't even see both of them in the same game. But this will kill those.
Yep.
This doesn't kill land, but
Well,
it does
won't-
kill artifacts.
It won't kill the Darksteel Citadel.
Right, because that's indestructible. Good
Oh,
point.
there's Darksteel Reactor isn't here, or Darksteel Foundry.
No.
All your artifacts have indestructible.
Yeah.
Aw.
Reactor, I think it's
Ooh.
reactor. What?
Soul of New Phyrexia?
Oh, that
Yeah.
thing. 6/6 trample for 6.
Permanents you control gain indestructible for end of turn for
5 mana.
5 mana, and then you can also do that from the graveyard by exiling it.
Neat.
Yeah.
Trading Post?
Aha, yes.
Yes,
That's
yes,
where the goats
I
come
love-
from.
Yeah.
Love Trading Post.
That's-
I
the
love
goats
to
come.
see this here because it's just like this very slow, grindy recursion engine.
What you need.
So
I got it.
it's got 4 abilities. Each of them you pay 1 mana and tap it. The first ability, discard a card, you gain 4 life. Second one, pay 1 life, make an 0/1 goat. Third one, sack a creature, could be a goat, return an artifact from your graveyard to your hand. The fourth one, sack an artifact, draw a card.
Which brings us in a neat
Yeah.
loop.
If you do the Wellspring, you can just
Yeah.
go nuts with it.
Oh yeah, it makes me happy.
Blinkmoth Urn. At the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase, if Blinkmoth Urn is untapped, that player adds a colorless to his or her mana pool for each artifact he or she controls. That just happens, because how do you tap this?
You can.
With
You need
Well, you
some
need-
other
you
card.
need an ice manipulator or something.
you would have to be playing
Pastor
Tangle
Knight.
Wire, something like that, right?
No, 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 no.
Mirror Battlesphere.
Mirror ball.
Everybody loves Mirror Ball.
4/7 that comes with those 4 mirror we saw earlier.
Yep.
Enters the battlefield with those 4. Whenever it attacks, you can tap any number of mirror you control, and it gets +X+O equal to the number of mirror, and you just deal that damage
You
to your
dome
opponent.
them.
Yep.
This card's very good.
Get in the ball.
Sad Robot.
The saddest robot.
Another excellent sack outlet
Solemn
or sack target.
Simulacrum. 2/2 for 4. Enters the battlefield, you get to go looking for a basic land. When it dies, you draw a card. Shimmer Mirror. Ooh! Hadn't thought about that. 2/2 for 3 with Flash. You can cast artifact spells as though they had Flash. So you can just be sitting back with your,
Yep.
with all your mana, and then be like, Shimmer Mirror, other thing.
Shimmer Brea.
Yeah, it's like Quicken,
Yeah.
right?
And Armory Automaton. I think this one's new. It's a 2/2 for 3. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may attach any number of target equipment to it.
Okay.
Huh.
My Armory Automaton attacks? Okay, cool. I attach Cranial Plating, Bone Horde, and Skull Clamp to it.
Wait a second. This doesn't say you control.
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say you control. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Give me all your equipment.
Here's all the equipment on the board. Get on the robot.
Everybody get on board.
Does that work?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Holy.
Yeah, because
moly.
it has the reminder text, control of the equipment doesn't change.
Oh.
But
So
unless
that
they
means
have
that on their turn they may
Yeah,
may
re-equip it.
because
something
equipping
of
is
their own. But then
sorcery
that
speed unless you have a
Yeah,
the
but then that
cranial
uses
plane.
up their mana.
Yeah.
And then when it attacks next turn, you just do it again.
It's like yoink.
All right. We're on the back stretch here.
Dr.
Well,
Foundry,
only
where's your
kinda.
Sword of the Meek?
Not in this deck,
Oh, obviously. 'Cause-
thankfully. Good with Skull Clamp, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you sacrifice a non-token artifact, and you get a Thopter, and gain a life. Mm-hmm. But then you can... There's so much cool stuff you can do with this deck.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to
yeah.
watch your game tonight. Grip of Pheresis.
This is the image on this card is really great.
So you gain control of target equipment, and you make a germ token, and equip that equipment to the germ. And this is a germ token holding a Sword of
Body
and
Mind.
Yeah.
Look what I
Like,
found on the ground.
Give me that. Here, it has an owner now.
Ancient Excavation. 2 blue, black, instant draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand, then discard a card for each card drawn this way. So you get to like loot for your whole hand size.
Yeah. So you
is
get to
kinda
fill up
cool.
your graveyard so that you have
It
things
also
to
has
interact
basic
with.
land cycling.
Yep.
It does for 2, so you can go looking for one of those basics if you need it. It's important to remember, like in a case like this, if you get this in your opening hand, that's fine. Just
Yeah, just get rid
cycle
of it. Yeah.
Just get rid of it.
Hey, it's a split card.
Trial and Error. I don't know how this is going to show up on the
May have to
overlay.
just put it like
Awkwardly.
vertically. Oh, there it is.
So you can cast either of these. This one does not. This was from the early cycle of split cards. It does not have Fuse. So if you're familiar with that,
Yeah,
so
you
you can
can't
cast
cast both.
Trial or Error. Trial is white blue. Return all creatures blocking or blocked by a target creature to their owner's hand. And Error is counter target multicolored spell.
It's a charm. It's flexible. Whip Flare. Oh, man.
Whip
Yep.
Flare deals 2 damage to every non-artifact creature.
Yeah.
What if Pyroclasm
Plasm.
didn't hit your team?
Yeah.
Yep. Parting Thoughts. 2 and a black sorcery, destroy target creature. Cool. You draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of counters on that creature. So wait a sec. This is just kill a thing straight up, no drawbacks for 3 mana,
Yeah.
and then bonus if it has counters on it.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Could be good. Might be good.
Migratory Route.
Ah, this is what's making the birds.
3 white blue, create 4 1/1 birds with flying.
Burbs.
That seems great.
Yeah.
More burbs.
And it also has basic land cycling. Magus of the Will.
Yes.
This
Yes.
card.
Hi. This is the reason I'm here. Hi. Hello.
What's Magus of the Will do?
He is a human wizard for 2 and a black. You get a 3/3 body. Okay. That's pretty good. For 2 black and tap and exile Magus of the Will. Until end of turn, you may play cards from your graveyard. If a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, exile that card instead. It's Yogg's Will.
Yeah, Yawgmoth's Will on a stick.
Yeah.
Which,
well, I mean, on a single
on a,
use stick.
yeah, on a
Yeah.
dead thing. But still, it's like... Yawgmoth's Will, not a very fair effect.
No.
No.
And this, yeah, hi. I've been.
It's probably fine.
Wanting
Like
to meet
it's
you.
probably just fine in this deck, but
Yeah.
like build around this, and it's just like, oh no.
Note
Yep.
that you can play cards, which means you can play land, because it doesn't say
Yep.
cast,
Yeah.
but you can still only play 1 land a turn.
Yes.
Grave Upheaval.
Blorp.
I like this one a lot. 4 black red, sorcery, put a creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. To note, a graveyard,
Oh, any graveyard.
any graveyard, it gains haste, doesn't go away,
You keep it.
you just get it.
Yep.
Everything else is rare or mythic.
Okay.
Fairy Artisans. 2/2 flying for 4. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's also an artifact. Then exile all other tokens created with Fairy Artisans. So you get
One copy
you get
of
an
the
artifact creature that is whatever the most recent creature an opponent cast.
So, like, you can sack the previous copy in response to this trigger, right? Okay, cool.
Curse of Vengeance. Hey,
Oh, right.
the curses. Enchant player for a single black mana. Whenever enchanted player casts a spell, put a spite counter on Curse of Vengeance.
Okay.
Oh, I love Commander. When an enchanted player loses the game, you gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the number of spite counters.
From hell's heart I stab at thee, for hate's sake.
That's terrific. You can be like, "Hey, I curse you because I don't even think you're a problem."
Yeah.
And when you eventually die, you're going to help me kill
There's
the other
gonna be
people.
people who will tout with great pride how many spike counters they finished the game with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Coastal Breach. Now, this is interesting because this has a thing I haven't seen on it. It has a new ability. 6 and a blue for a sorcery to return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands.
Oh.
But it has Undaunted, which is this spell costs 1 colorless less, or 1 generic less, for each opponent. So if you got all 4 players, I'm talking about later tonight we're doing a
It's a
stream of
3-drop.
this.
Yeah, it's a 4-drop.
Evacuation.
It's 4, you get 3 off.
4. Oh, right. Wait, each opponent,
Yeah.
not each player.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
Also, yeah, just bounce everything.
Sprawling.
Sidri, Galvanic
Oh, hey.
Genius.
Oh, another.
A reprint.
Yeah.
Well, I
Another
mean, not a
Schneider.
She's a reprint. She has cool art.
Is this new art?
No. Well, it's Therese Nielsen,
Yeah.
right? She was one of the commanders a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay. She looks like Cara Delvinier. Delvinier. She played the Enchantress in Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay.
She's in the new Luc Besson movie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
casts for white, black, blue, and is a 2/2 with 2 abilities. For blue, target non-creature artifact becomes a creature with power and toughness equal to its mana cost, or target artifact creature gains death, touch, and lifelink until end of turn. Seems very good utility in this deck. Ooh.
Or you just use it on your opponent's Everflowing Chalice and it dies.
Aethersworn Adjudicator. Holy wait, really? It doesn't say you control.
Yep.
CMC
Yeah.
0, just blow it up.
Aethersworn Adjudicator is I think this is a new one. It's a mythic. It's a 4/4.
No, this guy was in Shards.
Really?
I remember this guy.
4/4 for 4 and a blue, flying. For 1 white, black, and tap, destroy target creature or enchantment.
Boom.
And then for 2 and a blue, untap Aethersworn Adjudicator.
Oh, okay. That's
Do, 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 do. Hellkite Tyrant, 6/5, 6 mana, flying trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls.
But wait, there's more.
At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game!
Big Red and Highlander plays this as a win con.
This seems like a really solid win con, even if you aren't stealing artifacts. Look how many artifacts are in this deck.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if I don't beat you to death with this 6/5. Ah!
Speaking of alternate commanders,
Hi.
Sharoom, the Hedgemon. Now, obviously, again, you can't run this in a deck that has red cards, but still, it's a 5/5 for 3 white, blue, black. When it enters the battlefield, you return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Oops.
Sharoom is very, very good.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Duretti, we saw the emblem. Duretti's here. 3 loyalty planeswalker for 3 and a red. +2, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards.
Rummage twice.
Rummaging. Well, rummage up to twice. You can do it for 1. Or you can do it for none if you just want to take
You
them
can
up.
just +2.
-2, sack an artifact. If you do return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Trash or treasure.
Yep.
-10, you get an emblem, which we have over here, with whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield,
You know, like when you activate his -2.
return it to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step.
Okay.
Chief Engineer, 1/3 artifact spells you cast have Convoke,
Ooh,
which means you can tap other creatures to reduce the mana cost.
nice.
Slowbad, Goblin Tinkerer. It's a 1/2 for 1 and a red. Legendary creature, Goblin Artificer. Sack an artifact. Target artifact gains indestructible until end of turn. Master of Ethereum, of course. It's a star with power and toughness equal to the number of artifacts you control and other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. Hannah, Ship's Navigator. 1 white, blue for a 1/2. For 1 white, blue and tap. Return target artifact or enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. Jor-Kadeen, the Prevailer. Finally, a deck I'm excited to see Jor-Kadeen in. The 5/4 with first strike. And if you have Metalcraft, creatures you control, Metalcraft means you control 3 artifacts, get +3/+0. Which is great if you have all those little thopters or
That
birds.
big.
I attack you with my 4/1 birds. Oh, that's a lot of, okay.
Yeah. It's,
Sphinx Summoner, 3/3 flying for 3 blue black. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact creature, reveal it, put it into your hand. So he goes looking for like Sharoom, for example.
Godo!
Godo Bandit Warlord, 3/3 for 6. When Godo enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment and put it onto the battlefield. When Godo attacks for the first time each turn, untap Godo and all samurai you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase.
You know what he's really good with?
What?
Batterskull.
I can believe it.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because Batterskull has vigilance and gets to attack a second time with him.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't think there's any other samurai in this deck, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Just he gets to swing twice.
Hellkite Igniter.
Boosh.
5/5 Flying Haste for 7. We pay 2, and it gets plus X plus O until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control. This deck seems very synergistic. Filigree Angel. 4/4 for 5 white, blue.
That's a lot.
But when it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life for each artifact you control.
3.
3 life for each artifact.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Read the runes. X and a blue to draw X cards. For each card drawn this way, discard a card unless you sacrifice a permanent. And there's multiple reasons in here to sacrifice artifacts. Hey, trash for treasure. We were just talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
2 and a red is an additional cost. Sacrifice an artifact. Get an artifact from your graveyard onto the battlefield. Seems very powerful.
It's a slightly fixed red tinker.
Beacon of Unrest. 3
yes.
black. Put an artifact or creature from your graveyard onto the battlefield, and then shuffle Beacon of Unrest into its owner's library. Open the vaults. Return all artifact and enchantment cards from all graveyards to the battlefield under their owner's control.
Interesting.
You're more likely to have more artifacts and enchantments than your opponent.
Symmetrical. It's totally fair.
Yeah,
Totally fair.
Yeah, just like
Totally
balance.
fair.
It says right there on the card.
Yep.
And
Oh, that's where the horror comes from.
Phyrexian Rebirth. Destroy all creatures, then make an XX artifact creature, where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way.
Oops.
Nice. Nice.
Decent.
This deck looks sweet.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to playing it. How would I... What are the upgrades? What's your upgrade path from
That's a
here?
good question.
Tinker.
Tinker?
Blade Steel.
Yeah, Blightsteel, one-shot robot.
Yeah.
Blightsteel
Better,
Colossus.
more aggressive equipment suite.
Yeah. Like,
Do you get a Stoneforge suite
Yeah,
in
what?
here?
Yeah, what equipment?
Yeah, actually, no. Stoneforge is good in here.
So, Stoneforge
Wait, can
Mystic.
you play Stoneforge in this format?
I don't
don't
think
know.
she's banned.
I don't think Stoneforge is banned in
I would
Commander.
get Batterskull in here and maybe
Sophie.
maybe
Or is Sophie good in Commander?
Probably.
Sophie being
Protection from
sort
red
of-
and blue is pretty huge.
Sword
Yeah.
of Fire and Ice is
Yeah.
Sophie.
Yeah, and
Of the swords, which swords do you think easily get into
Sword
this
of Fire
deck?
and Ice is the best sword. Period.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I
would
think
lo- yeah,
we've
please.
mentioned this on. Okay, so there's a cycle of, is it 5 or of
Yeah.
5 swords? There was
All enemy-colored swords.
like
3 in First Meriden block and 2 in the...
and 2
No,
and
no.
Oh, backwards.
2 in the first Mirrodin block,
Yeah.
3 in...
yeah. So it was
Scars.
sort of Fire and Ice, sort of Light and Shadow, sort of Feast and Famine, sort of Body and Mind, and sort of War and Peace.
Yeah.
So they're all enemy shards. They all have protection from 2 colors. They give +2/+2, and they have 2 abilities that trigger when you hit a player. Sword of Fire and Ice is the best one because those 2 abilities will always do something.
Yeah.
And it will always be good. Because its abilities are, when you hit a player, you get 2 damage you can deal to a creature or player.
So you're either
You
going
will
to kill something,
always kill someone,
you get
or
to
you will
just
always dome them.
dome them.
And draw a card.
Yep.
You will always draw a card off of that. The rest of them,
Sword of shock and draw.
yeah, the rest of them can miss. Like, Sword of Feast and Famine is your opponent discards and you untap all your lands, which is nuts.
Yes.
But if they have no cards, it does nothing.
Yeah.
And if you have
And
nothing
if,
to cast,
and if
goes
you have
untapping
no
your
cards,
lands,
untapping your
it
lands
also
doesn't do
doesn't
anything
matter.
either, yeah.
Sort of War and Peace is similar, where I think you
Gain life equal to the number of cards in your...
you have, and they lose life equal to the number of cards they have.
Yeah.
What about Body and Mind, the one the one
Body and Mind,
the one where you cut puppies out of people?
Yeah.
Sort
Son,
of Mill and Bear.
Yeah. Son, you're full of dogs and that ain't right.
That one's pretty good because it always makes a 2/2, and it always mills them 10.
Yeah. Now, milling 10 when you're dealing with 100 card decks is less relevant, but...
It's not as good, but
Okay, so we put in...
The Sword of Fire and Ice also in this format, the 2 damage doesn't have to be to the guy you attacked. Right?
Yeah.
Which is
you can
interesting.
go anywhere.
Right, that's true. So
So those are good
so we'll
equipments.
put in Stoneforge Mystic, Batterskull, Sword of Fire and Ice.
That's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Other cards that are really good in here. I mean, Academy, if it's not banned. It's probably banned.
I would
How's-
assume it's banned.
How's Dak Faden fare here? I mean,
Get him in here.
Yeah.
the stealing other people's artifacts maybe is less relevant.
It's probably quite relevant in Commander, but...
What does the new
Looting.
Duretti do?
Oh, Ingenious Iconoclast? Oh,
yeah.
yeah, he's good in this deck, I think.
Yeah, because he has a
Probably.
sack.
His plus is
theme,
make
right?
a 1/1 defender artifact,
Let's see if I can pull him up.
and his minus is sack an artifact, destroy a creature or artifact, I think.
Yeah, here, let me...
He's
I've
probably
got
quite good.
What do you want?
Duretti
Ingenious Iconoclast.
which is quite a mouthful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so
it's like-
+1, put a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token with Defender onto the battlefield.
Cool.
-1, you may sacrifice an artifact if you do destroy target artifact or creature.
Oh, that seems good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
-6, choose target artifact card in a graveyard or artifact on the battlefield. Put that 3 tokens that are copies
Right,
of them
yes,
onto the
okay, no,
battlefield.
he's perfect.
Okay, yeah.
Get him
yeah.
in here.
That Duretti goes in here for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what you take out, but
There's
Like the
various stuff.
temptation
and
with...
then there's just like various artifact staple stuff, like the thing, like you could probably put in. I mean, there's a million directions you could take this. You could get in like Lodestone Golem and
Yeah.
Aethersworn Canonist to slow everybody else down.
Yep.
Aethersworn Canonist makes non-artifact.
It's each player can't cast a second spell if it wasn't an artifact spell.
Yeah.
It's a 2/2 for 1 and a white. So it's
Yeah,
like
so-
you can cast as many spells as you want in a turn as long as they're artifacts, and the last one isn't. But otherwise, you can cast a spell a turn.
Yeah.
So
The presence of Shroom in the deck really makes me want to think of like some kind of degenerate thing, but she can't really be the commander here, so that's less reliable.
Well, what's also cool is because if you get this deck and you this seems great by itself. We haven't played with it yet, but it seems like it would be a great deck by itself. But if you're not keen on it as it sits, it is also
options.
a great start for another deck. For example, strip out the red, and you have the basis of a great Shroom the Hegemon deck.
Yeah.
Because the red, there's actually not that much red
Oh.
in here.
The Esper card that has the best chippy artwork ever, with the she's got like 2 artifacts with a lemniscate, like a Mobius strip linking them, where you tap her and you return an artifact
It
from.
was like the key art for the set.
if you feel like making everybody
Ethereum
unhappy,
Sculptor.
No, not Ethereum Sculptor. Gah.
What are the colors?
beep boop.
Blue, I think.
She's just blue.
What's up, Alex?
She's my
Thought-
wallpaper on my home
Thought
computer.
Foundry pairs quite
With
well with
Sword of the Meek?
which in turn pairs well with Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah.
Is Sword of the Meek banned in Commander?
Maybe. It's not like an infinite kill you combo,
Right.
but it's pretty dumb.
So if you count the commanders, because they do count towards the number of this deck, there's only 11 red cards.
Right. Huh.
So you could very easily just flip this into a just completely
Esper.
Esper Shroom deck.
Yeah.
But I do like how the
It's got a lot of-
how
The red complements it quite
It
nicely.
really
though.
does. This seems like a very, very fun deck.
Yeah, there's other just like good utility stuff. Like Fabricate is probably quite good in here.
What was the dragon from Scars of Mirrodin that when it dealt combat damage,
I
you
know
could
the one
pump
you're
mana
talking
into
about.
it and
Something Hellkite. Sorry, Steel Hellkite.
yeah, Steel Hellkite. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really good, and probably quite good in Commander because it wraths out your opponents.
Also,
Oh, is that
Architect.
is that the colorless dragon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shoot.
that good.
What's Steel Hellkite do again? Sorry.
It's got like a pump ability and then another ability that blows
It's like
up
when you deal damage, then you get to destroy
Yeah.
CMC, equal to
CMC
what
X
you
or
paid.
less.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Pay X. Oh, destroy each non-land permanent. I can't read that from here.
CMC
With
X.
CMC X or less.
You hit somebody and then pay
Right.
to blow up their permanents. It's pretty big.
Seems
Yeah.
good. Seems good.
Oh God, what was her name?
Sorry, what's this card you're looking for?
It is.
She's standing like this.
Yeah.
She's one of the
She's
one of the Ethereum
people.
Oh, yeah.
And she has an ability where she returns an artifact you control from the battlefield to your hand, and you put an artifact you control onto the battlefield.
Right.
That
Or an
seems-
artifact from your hand onto the battlefield.
That's not fair.
No.
And it's not Ethereum sculptor. It's
No.
something.
It's like that, though.
I know the one you're talking about.
Because my brain is like, it's Ethereum sculptor. I'm like, no. Is it Master of Ethereum? No. Is it Ethereum sculptor? No, brain, it's not. It's not.
Because they're both in here.
Yeah.
Well,
Brain, you're not
I'm sure
helping.
we can flood the comments with
Yeah,
directions
I'm
here.
sure people are.
So
Yeah. But she would be an excellent inclusion here. I mean, the mana rocks from Ravnica.
Yeah, like talismans and signets are good. Because
What did she do? Sorry, I missed.
Return an artifact from the battlefield. Return an artifact you control from the battlefield to your hand. Put an artifact from your hand onto the battlefield.
something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Paul's gonna probably find it.
I think she's a tree drop.
I don't know if we're gonna do. Almost assuredly we're not gonna do an episode like this for each of the 5 pre-constructed decks. But
Just give you an idea, though.
yeah, this is the general consensus on these decks is that not only are they like super fun against one another, but that they can hang with like people's go-to decks. Like I was seeing some.
Unless somebody's playing slivers, and don't play with them anyway.
Yeah, wow. When we were in Australia, we did a game against the folks at newgameplus.tv, and we did Two-Headed Giant Commander, myself and Kathleen versus 2 of their number, and we got rolled because they had a sliver player and a player playing Izix of the Ismegas.
Yeah, Mizzix, yeah.
Mizzix of the Ismegas. And so the Izzet player just like countered everything cool that we tried to do and killed stuff while the sliver player got out of control.
Yikes.
So yeah, it was fun, but man, we got trounced.
Oh, God. Okay, I found a thread where people are doing exactly what I'm doing right now, which is like, hey, I found this card coming from the upcoming set from like a million years. No, it's not Esper Battle Mage, you idiots.
Is it not?
No, it's definitely not.
Oh, that's a Photoshop that they're doing?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, hey, well, we've got this spoiler. Does this look like the art? It's like, no, stop it. And then there's somebody just posted a link,
Nice.
which was a link to another forum thread where they were discussing the same thing.
This is amazing.
No, it's not punished ignorance.
You could probably find it if you search like CMC3 artifact and then
Chippy artwork.
no subtype human.
Just look at the visual spoiler for the old block. Yeah, look for anything by Chippy.
We'll just be hanging around here till we figure out what the hell
Anyway,
this card's called.
we can't sit here until Cam figures this out. So we're going to actually sign off this week. I totally forgot, again, at the top of the show to mention that Tap Tap Concede is brought to you by our kind friends at Card Kingdom. Hey, Alex!
Master Transmuter!
Master
Transmuter, they got there.
Oh,
Beer, 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 beer! We got there, everybody. We figured it out.
I didn't plan it. So we did mention it at the top of the show.
You're wearing a Card Kingdom shirt.
You're going to be okay, Cam.
You're going to be okay. Master Transmuter, we got there, everybody.
we're professionals.
That's why we have sponsors like the great folks at Card Kingdom.
Absolutely, Graham.
If you go to cardkingdom.com/LRR, that helps us out because it tells them that they are right to sponsor the show. And we love Card Kingdom because they're where we go to buy our singles online because their prices are competitive and their customer service is bar none the best we've ever experienced. Just really, really great folks there. And if you tell them, Loading Ready Run sent me button, please, they will give you a Loading Ready Run little 1-inch button, which currently says ABC always be casting, assuming that those are not already gone, which would surprise me, but it's possible. And Tap Tap Concede is also, like everything else that we do, brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. And before we go, Alex has just discovered something.
Hang on a second.
About trash for treasure?
Yeah, I thought this thing behind him was a hat.
It's a cave? I thought it was
It's a background.
Oh yeah,
I thought he had like a big,
Like sombrero?
or the sombrero, or like a huge turban or something.
it looks like the Great Furnace.
Yeah, I know. But like at first glance, I thought he had this gigantic hat on. Well, that messed me up.
So
It's so unrealistic
Please
that this guy shaves the inside of his nostrils.
sponsor our great content.
You can see right up his nose, dude. Right
you.
up there.
Thank you all for
Does he-
listening.
He's got a boogie.
Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, and blackheads.